So yesterday we ended up finishing up Halo Reach, and I mentioned that today would be the day that we end up beginning where Bungie has started, and with that we start Halo 1. While we get ready for this absolutely amazing cutscene that revolutionized gaming. I mean, this was the beginning of a lot. If you guys do like this video, drop a like down below. And if you want to see some more of this type of content from me, I upload pretty much every single day. Drop a sub. I'm going to have to turn the game volume up a bit. I didn't realize it was that quiet. But I tried to actually get this game to run on the original Xbox version as opposed to MCC, and it works, but it doesn't work with a controller, and I would have to sit there and meticulously figure out my settings and stuff on keyboard and mouse. I figured this would just be easier, so there we are. There he is. Yeah, one thing that I ended up doing recently, I think it was yesterday or the day before, was I tweaked my recording settings, so my NVIDIA Shadowplay doesn't record in 120 frames anymore. It records in the in-game resolution, but it records at 60 frames instead of 120 because I can't render past 60 anyway, so who cares? Now I need to bring the game up. So I'm going to be playing in classic graphics for this entire playthrough because I absolutely despise the way Anniversary looks in this game, and that's going to become very apparent in 343 Guilty Spark. That mission I'm actually going to do a deep dive sort of into of why I hate the Anniversary version of it, the beginning of one of the most iconic duos. I haven't discussed it yet, but with Halo 1 on MCC, something that you're going to find out is the game wasn't built on the version that came out of the Xbox. It's built on the version that came out of the PC port. So it actually looks worse than it used to, if that makes sense. All right, there we go. So we throw 2 nades in here, and then our reward is we kill everything, but we get this. Something that I absolutely adore about this game is it feels like it hasn't aged, like, at all. The game is 24, by the way. It's almost a quarter of a century old, and the game really doesn't show it. One thing you're gonna end up noticing throughout this entire playthrough is this game plays a lot different compared to other Halo games, where you'll have chain reaction explosions. You'll have the Magnum doesn't shoot perfectly straight, but the other thing you're gonna end up noticing is that basically every gun is viable, which can't be said about some of the other Halos. But this game feels timeless. I like the way that it looks graphically, even though MCC is a bit of a butchered version of it. Actually, I could just throw a nade here because we have so many grenades on the ground. But yeah, you'll notice that I actually don't hate any guns in this game. I think every single gun has a use case. Like, they're all really good. I guess while we're running through this level, I ended up finding this new MMORPG that's going to be coming out, I believe, next year, or maybe it's just soon. I don't know if it has a release date yet. Yeah, I believe it's on UE5, which, I mean, that's a bit scary because it's UE5, but I'm excited for it. It looks cool. The only thing is it's a modern MMORPG, so I feel like it's just going to end up dying in a month because there's not enough care being put into it. Like, for example, there was Throne and Liberty that came out last year, I believe, and that game looked really good. It played well, it felt fun, but they just never did anything with it. Because, like, Throne and Liberty had the potential to be actually pretty good. It suffered from what feels like a lack of care. Also, some other stuff that I've been seeing recently, more so on the aspects of what I was mentioning about Destiny 3 being in really early access, or early development rather, is a lot of people that played Renegades early seem to be kind of keying into that notion that it is happening, or at the very least it is expected. I'm gonna take it with a grain of salt because there's been no official announcement yet, and frankly, if it doesn't come from Bungie, I don't really want to hear it. But I don't know. I just feel like that game, if it is real, is not going to come out in a state that warrants people to play it. Like, for me, I've played Destiny for 10 years, or, well, I did before I quit, and the part of me that really enjoyed Destiny is just gone, and partially to blame is Bungie. I mean, Bungie ruined what I enjoyed with Destiny. Renegades looks cool, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here and just shit on Bungie for every little thing that they do. I think Renegades looks really cool, but it doesn't encourage me to want to play it, and I think that's the problem. Like, I just don't feel the same about Destiny 2 pretty much at all. I hope it does well, but I don't think I'll play it. Also, I will preface this playthrough with, I don't plan on comparing this to Anniversary or to the remake that's coming out next year pretty much at all. until we get to Silent Cartographer and 343 Guilty Spark. So I would much rather just enjoy the game and not draw comparisons to things that I don't like. I feel like that's just a waste of my time, and also is probably not very fun to listen to. So I'm just straight up not going to be doing that. I'm also, I will say, I'm not God's gifted in terms of how well I am at CE compared to like Reach or 3. So, but here's a cool little thing. The Covenant actually wanted to get us, so we were going to end up in there. Also, is it in Anniversary that you can see it? Oh yeah, so in Anniversary you can actually see that Linda was here. So I think that's a really cool detail that Linda was on the Autumn in cryosleep. I don't think you can actually see which cryopod she's in, but there you go. I think that's a really cool detail. And then obviously in normal you don't see it at all, because by that point Linda didn't exist. But I think it's a really cool thing. So I guess I kind of just went back on what I just said, but if it's some cool little tidbit thing that I know, I will 100% mention it. I think that's a really cool detail. I'm definitely going to be doing a video on obviously Pillar of Autumn and Halo, because I mean it's the first 2 missions of the campaign, but I mentioned before I didn't know which other missions I was going to end up doing. I'm definitely going to be doing Silent Cartographer, and I might do TNR as well, and then obviously Guilty Spark and Maw, but I don't think I'm going to do Library. Oh, that was a big nade. Holy. Oh, there you go. Oh, there we go. And with that, that's Pillar of Autumn. And here we go. More or less like our first shot at Halo and what's on it. I mean, clearly you can see land and water and what looks to be clouds, and it's incredible. I like that Chief in this game talks so little. Like, I know that people's grievances with like Halo 4, 5, and Infinite is that he talks a lot. I don't mind it, but this is our first ever experience on the foreign object known as Halo. Unfortunately, with the life pod hitting the ring here, unfortunately, not a soul on board of this life pod other than us managed to live. I'm gonna give this one more try. I don't really care that much about doing skips and stuff. I like this game a lot, so I'll just play through it normally. But okay, I'm not gonna try that again. So we'll just do the intended path. So we go across this bridge, and because we're going across this, we will hit a load zone, which makes the Covenant spawn in. But like I said, I don't care that much, to be honest with you. Something that I really loved about Bungie's Halo games, but especially like Halo 1, is sort of this sense of exploration that you almost just feel like you have to do at some point. You know what I mean? Like, I feel almost inclined to want to just run around and really see what's on the ring. Like, like I said, I almost feel inclined to just want to do stuff on the ring and just run around and really get a feel for this admittedly brand new experience. And that's something that Bungie's games did really well. It gave you that sense of exploration and wonder of like, well, what's over here and what's over there. I feel like Halo 2 does that incredibly well, especially with missions like Outskirts, where they never patched out the ability to do the stuff on top of the roofs because it gave people a sense of exploration. I ended up taking a little bit of a breather, but we're back. All right, that got a little bit closer than it should have, but all right. I was watching T1 while I ended up eating because I got a little bit hungry and I wanted to eat and do all that. But I was watching Tyler 1. Man, take me back. Like, I was looking at Tyler 1 playing League from literally just 2 years ago, and I'm like, this literally doesn't even feel like the same game anymore. It is insane how fast that game has changed. Depending on who you ask, for better or for worse. I think it changed for the worse, though. I'm gonna hope there's another med kit. These fights aren't going super well for me, but I think they're all right. But like, back to the thing that I was referencing earlier of like how I feel like Halo 1 and just Bungie's like Halo games in general, the feeling I get when I play them is just like, I want to explore. I want to see everything. You know what I mean? Like, there's a sense of wonder. When we inevitably get to Halo 4, I will mention this, assuming I remember, but the sense of wonder of where we're at is sort of lost once we get to the 343 games. Ooh, that was a big nade. I think that's it. Yeah. Actually, while I have this AR, I want to point something out. So obviously, since we're on a Halo ring, there isn't a like magnetic north. So what is the AR pointing to? Right there. Pointing that gas giant. I figured I'd show that off before I end up forgetting. Yeah, there you go. You can see some of the lifeboats and stuff. So a lot of people will tell you this, and I don't disagree innately, but this mission does sort of drag. It is a long mission. It's not as long as Library, but
It is not a natural formation. Someone built it.
I love that line, by the way. And I don't know. There's just something so special about this game that, like, look at this, man. It's so cinematic. You can do the warthog fling, but if you don't do it, it's fine. You can just do this. So now we go to hit this, and that activates the bridge that we have to cross to get over to there. Normally, you'd have to do this entire section where you're fighting things, and eventually you find out that you got to go up there. But if you know where to go, you can just do that. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, there's just something about this part of the game, especially like this is your first introduction to Forerunner structures and stuff, but the lighting is just really nice. It gives a sense of creepiness, unsure of what I'm looking at, but still feels familiar, if that makes sense. Also, one thing that I'm going to mention while we're looking at it, this texture is, you could say it's partially due to limitations from the original Xbox, and I wouldn't disagree with you, but notice how it looks dirty and not new. Bear that in mind when we inevitably get to Silent Cartographer, and I briefly mention how I feel about what they've done to that mission in CE Remake. But like I said, I'm not gonna really harp on how I feel about the Combat Evolved Remake and anything like that. I want to have fun playing what I love and what I enjoy, so just take a brief little pit stop here. I mean, truly incredible, I feel. And then obviously you can look straight up and see the ring. I think that's such an important detail. So this is what this part of the game looks like in CE Anniversary. I mean, I like it for sure. I'm not gonna say I absolutely hate the way that this part of the game looks in Anniversary. Still a very cinematic shot. You can tell though the clouds are much different. They're also moving, and there seems to be a lot more of them, kind of obscuring the ring as it goes up. And I like that as well. I think it has its own charm to it. Like, you know, there is an actual weather system in place and all that, creating these clouds. I like it. I do definitely like that. So, as I said in Pillar of Autumn, I won't really draw comparisons to Anniversary or to the Halo 1 remake unless it's something that I actually think that both of those things do well. That's one of them. But you see how even this structure and everything around it have that sort of like dated appearance, like the ring wasn't made yesterday. It has the wear and tear of, you know, 100,000 years on it type of stuff, right? It looks so good. Man, this place has a bunch of elites. Holy. But yeah, also, I didn't mention it, but part of me was kind of debating on doing the Ruby's Rebalanced Halo 1 thing. That mod, by the way, is what I believe 343 should use as the base expectations for CE Remake. Like, if they base CE Remake off of what is improved in Ruby's Rebalanced or whatever the mod is called, I think I personally believe that it will be taken a lot better, because Ruby's Rebalanced is incredible, by the way. I think it might be the best CE mod, one of the best Halo mods. It is a truly incredible experience, and if you've never done it, 1,000,000% I recommend it. It adds things that Bungie ended up having to cut out due to time and hardware limitations, and it makes some missions a little bit more tolerable. Like Library, I believe, ends up getting like stuff like vehicles and whatnot. It's really interesting. I believe there's even stuff like wildlife on the ring you can actually go and find, and I think that's a really nice, a really neat detail, kind of showing the ecosystem of the ring. Actually, I want to show one thing off. So this is going to be sort of like a trick, I guess, but it is a way to reload in your backpack. So it's called backpack reloading, and you shoot. So you notice I'm at 50. So I'm going to double tap reload and swap guns. Now we're going to give it a couple seconds. And there you go. Neat little trick if you ever want to play this game on higher difficulties, or if you want to speed run. That's something that you actually can learn accidentally. I think it's a really cool detail. But like I said, all you do is double tap reload, and by the time that you double tap reload and swap guns and probably use the other gun you have, you will likely just passively reload, and it's nice. It makes the game a little bit easier, and also it just helps. So yeah, I ended up mentioning that it's a lot easier to just kill these Marines. It absolutely is. The thing that you'll have to know if you ever want to play through this mission and do that is you have to kill them through accidental means. So if the Marines see you kill someone, they will turn hostile. If you kill a Marine with a gun, it is considered intentional even if it was accidental. And so the way that you kill the Marines is you kill them from a place that they can't see you do it, or you can use grenades. So for example, for this one, the intent is that you kill them while they're down in there with a bunch of grenades. So something I ended up seeing was that Stranger Things is getting a Chapter 2 collab in Dead by Daylight. All right, here we go. Look at this behemoth. Thing looks awesome, but the sound Oh, that sound is so good. It's so good. It's really just one of the best guns Bungie has made. And I could say that about the Halo 1 stuff all day, by the way. I think Halo 1 has some of the best iterations of every gun. The Magnum, the shotgun, the sniper, the rocket. I mean, it's all so good. So remember how on Pillar of Autumn I said that every gun is viable? This is what I mean. I'm not using a precision weapon. I'm using a plasma pistol, and it works. Do you see how I shot that elite with the sniper and he crouched below the rock? Halo 4, 5, and maybe not Infinite. I mean, Infinite's AI wasn't anything to write home about, but it was definitely better than 4 and 5. But you just don't see that in the 343 games. I don't think it's going to come as a surprise to anybody when I say that the elites are my favorite of the Covenant species. I love the elites. I think that they're really cool. They're the most humanoid. They have like their own religion, and they look really cool. They're menacing. They have funny dialogue that I really enjoy, but I love the elites so much. Another thing I really like about the elites is their lore and like the implications of sort of how they operate as a society. Is like if someone in your family ends up dishonoring the species in any way, shape, or form, the entire lineage is basically cursed and doomed to essentially being outcasts. And to a point, I think humanity has done the exact same thing, and maybe even to this day that is still going on. And I think that's something that is another humanoid feature of the elites. The elites are the most humanoid. There's the sniper. Yeah, so this is actually a really good one to go to second, because you get the sniper and you can actually kill those Marines I saved just before here. Now, myself included, I am a part of the believing aspects of like, I think that this mission is a bit repetitive, but I think it's a very necessary mission to get across the fact that we are on something that we don't know anything about. And I think giving the player the freedom to just explore and have fun and really delve into what makes this ring special and unique is very important and sets the tone, I feel, for the rest of the game. Also, one thing I want to mention, I'm recording this on the American Thanksgiving, so I just want to say, if you guys are American and you celebrate Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. I'm not really one to celebrate, holy fuck, I'm not going to celebrate that. Oh my god, that was terrible. But I'm not really one to celebrate Thanksgiving, to be honest with you. I just never really have. But this is actually my first year making videos and doing all that. And I just want to say that I am thankful for all of you. Whether you enjoy my content, this is your first time experiencing my content, or if you don't like my content, that's fine too. I am thankful for all of it, truly. And I feel like there's no better way to express that than on a day where you're supposed to be expressing thanks. So I want to say thank you. My goals and my ideologies that I hope I can somewhat transfer into these videos of how I experience games and my favorite games at that, and hopefully I can captivate people to maybe want to go play them for themselves, or the videos I make to be entertaining, or the games I make them look out to be really fun and you want to experience them firsthand, or anything like that. I just want to say, if any of that makes any sense, because that was a bit of a discombobulated monologue, but if any of that makes sense, I hope it gets it across. I'm pretty bad at putting words or like feelings into words, if that makes sense. But I hope to be able to make videos for a while, and hopefully it ends up working out and I can do this full time, and I hope that it works out. So once again, I just want to say thank you. I don't think I've ever really explained it like that. I've definitely expressed my thanks to everyone that watches these videos, even if it's a one-time thing. Even that one-time thing is enough for me. I don't think there's a health kit here, which is a bit of a problem because I'm on 1 HP and that's bad. Well, this is my first instance of using the Needler in this game. Never mind. I'm gonna get that Needler back because I really like the Needler in this game too. I think it's a bit weaker in this game. Don't get me wrong, it still works. Is that it? There we go. There we go. That took a lot longer than I thought it was gonna take, but that is Halo. So with that, I am gonna end the video here. However, the next video you should see will be, honestly, I'll probably do Truth and Wreck on a mission, because that mission is incredible. It is probably my favorite mission in the game, next to 343 Guilty Spark, and 2 Betrayals is also up there, man. I'll probably do like a ranking or something at the end of this series of maybe the missions and the games and the guns or something like that. Maybe make that a little bit more of a fun thing to do. But that was the first 2 missions of Halo CE, but it is most definitely not going to be the last. So if you guys did enjoy this video, like I said earlier, drop a like down below. If you guys do want to see some more of this from me, I upload pretty much every single day. Drop a sub. Once again, I just want to say it is the American Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving. Spend some time with your family, with your friends, and enjoy yourself if you have the ability to do that. I just want to say, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you for everything, and I'll see you all later.